Hello babies! Today's video is one that I know that y'all have been waiting for because I know how much you love the tea, because today I'm going to be reacting to last year's pile of self-destructing books. Now, if you guys are new to this concept, if you're new to my channel, many years ago, I made a video where I selected, I think I do 10 every year, books off my TBR that I'm not too sure about. They're ones that I never reach for, and I don't think I'm necessarily gonna love them. They're not my usual thing, or I've heard bad things about them. So I set them aside and I give myself 12 months to read them. And if I don't read them after the 12-month period, then I'm clearly not interested in them and I have to unhaul them. So shortly after this video, you are going to see a new pile of self-destructing books. But today we are going to be looking back at 2022's self-destructing books and seeing how many of them I've actually read. Now, I have to say, I don't have a good feeling about this year's pile. I don't think I've read any of them. I was doing a vlog series called the Unhaul Project where I had a cart, still have it, but I unhauled a bunch of stuff off it. But I have a cart that has books on that I'm unsure about, and I was doing this vlog project where I dedicated a week every so often to reading from this cart to just decide if I wanted to keep them, maybe be surprised by them, DNF them if I'm not feeling them. And you know what? I've abandoned that project now because, surprisingly or not, reading a bunch of books that you're actually not excited about does not exactly nurture a motivation to read. So we don't really do that anymore, and because of that I don't really look at this cart anymore. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to find in this video, but I feel like I am sure that I haven't read anything. I do think actually that there is one book potentially on this list I'm not going to be unhauling because it is by an author that is at Rare, which is a romance festival in London this year. So I'm going to be keeping it to potentially read it before I go and potentially meet the author, if it is even on this list. But yeah, we'll see. That book is also upstairs as well, so if it comes up, I'm not grabbing it because I don't really want to move. I'll hate myself in editing later, but I'll put the cover up. Let us pull up the video. Already, I really like my hair. I miss having purple hair. I really like my outfit. And my Calathia's alive, which it no longer is, no longer with us, RIP honey. But yeah, let's see what she actually has to say. Oh, I think that this is my old camera, which means the audio is going to be awful on it, but let's see how it goes. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca, and today I am here to introduce you to 2022's pile of self-destructing books. Okay, can I just say, how did you guys put up with this terrible audio, and how did I not notice how bad it was? Like, I had that camera for years. Just gonna skip ahead to the first book because I've already explained what we're doing here. Let's get started. So the first one is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I believe that this one came in an Illumicrate. I'm not really interested in Marie Lu. I have only read one book from Marie Lu, which was the Batman book that she did as part of the DC Icon series. I gave that 2 stars. I really didn't like it, but I do accept that that was kind of not her original work. Haven't read it. Still absolutely have no desire to. This is actually an Illumicrate edition, I'm pretty sure. Oh, she's thick with dust. She hasn't been moved in a year. But yeah, this is the Illumicrate edition. It is really pretty. We have like a sprayed silver edge, a little bit of foiling, letter from the author, exclusive cover. All beautiful, wonderful things. It's just the subject matter of the book that's putting me off. This one is about Mozart's sister. So it's a historical fantasy, heavily surrounding classical music, which I actually played instruments. I probably couldn't now, but I can play a tiny bit of piano and I played a violin when I was a teenager. I hate music theory because I did it at GCSE. It was awful. I don't care about classical music in terms of like composition, and as a subject matter, like the technicality and the background of music is not something that I've ever been interested in. I really like it if we talk about like the movie industry and old Hollywood, but I don't like anything really to do with the music industry. I'm just not interested, especially when it comes to this like historical classical time period. So yeah, I will be unhauling this, no qualms at all. Goodbye, Kingdom of Back. We then have The Wild Ones by Nafina Azad. This one came in an Abraxas box, and I do actually think that this one sounds really good. I just think it's more on the side of fabulism than fantasy. Yeah, so this one I do still stand by my original statement on this. I think that this book sounds really, really interesting. It is about girls who have had horrible experiences in life, and they have like a magical, yeah, the between, it's like a magical dimension, and they travel the world saving other girls from the pain that they've experienced in their lives. I think it sounds super interesting. I just don't think that I will like it because it's very like magical realism, fabulism style, which is something that I really don't like. I like my magic to be concrete and not abstract, and so that is just a whole genre that I don't read from because I don't get it. And my brain just doesn't work that way. My brain doesn't like it, and so I've stopped trying. So yeah, I think that this sounds like it would be an amazing book, but I just know that I won't enjoy it. The next one is Fable by Adrienne Young. This one was a fairy loot book, and it's about a girl who was abandoned on an island full of thieves by her father, and the only thing she wants to do is escape the island, get back to her father, and claim her rightful place in his crew. And so this is the one that I said that I was pretty sure was on this list, but I'm not going to be unhauling quite yet. I still am not overly interested in this. I still have heard nothing good about this book. Well, actually, recently I've seen a couple of people say that they like it, but overall, like, everyone said that it was just kind of average. But the author is attending Rare. Adrienne Young is going to be at Rare. I do own Fable, and I do own Spells for Forgetting. I'm more inclined to read Spells for Forgetting than I am Fable, but if I enjoy Spells for Forgetting, I will probably read Fable, and I'll take the books with me to be, but they're already signed though, I guess. So even if I do enjoy them, I don't know whether I'd necessarily take them to Rare with me. But just because Adrienne Young is an author at Rare and is an author that is currently high on my TBR because of that, I don't want to be unhauling this. I think this is the only time that I've ever saved a self-destructing book, but it is, I guess we'll use the caveat that if I still haven't read this by the time I've been to Rare, then I'll just unhaul it because I still don't necessarily want to read it. It's only up there because I'm going to Rare. I also have The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. This is a YA contemporary romance with the fake dating trope, and it follows a girl who's being hassled by her best friend about not having a boyfriend, so she lies and says that she's got one, and then the captain of the football team, who needs someone to take to prom but is more focused on studying than dating, overhears their conversation and agrees to be her fake boyfriend. I like romance. I'm not sure if I've already unhauled this. So right at the end of last year, I did an unhaul with me where I took you guys through all of my shelves and I unhauled a bunch of books. Now, I don't think that I have this book anymore. I don't think I have The Upside of Fallen. I think I unhauled it in that video. I will link it for you guys because it was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I was in a fuck it mood and fuck it, I did. So I think it's already gone. But regardless, like, obviously with it already being unhauled, this is just like a really standard contemporary romance. It sounds fine, but it's young adult, and if I'm reading a standard contemporary romance that doesn't sound like it includes anything like overly exciting or out of the ordinary, I'm going to be doing it in the adult demographic, not young adult, so that is why that one had to go. I also forgot that these were all subscription box books this time. I'm wondering what I can do next time. We'll see if I can get a theme together for the next time I do this, because I haven't actually decided on anything going in that list yet. We also have Scamming to the Stars by Tara Sim. This one is an Illumicrate edition, and this one actually seems like it's a little bit more complex than the majority of the others that I have in here, but it follows a girl who saves a man's life, and as a reward for this, he offers her unimaginable riches and a new name and the opportunity to get revenge on this big influential guy in the city. And then we're also following the son of this big influential guy, so one of them is trying to save the family, the other one's trying to take it down. This actually sounds decent in terms of the plot. I feel like the reason why it was on here is because I've only heard very average things about this, so it wasn't one that I was particularly excited to pick up. The only thing that makes me a little bit hesitant to unhaul this at this point is that I have, once again, from Fairy Loot. It's the Fairy Loot adult subscription again, but I think the second book included in that subscription was by Tara Sim. So it's one of those where, like, I'm not interested in this one, but I am interested in that one, and if I like that one, then it may make me want to circle back. But then I also haven't heard very good things about City of Dusk. I think the majority of people said that that book was good at the beginning. It was very promising, and then it all kind of fell apart in the second half. So that doesn't leave me inclined to want to keep this one. But I will say, out of everything that we've we've talked about so far, this is the one that I'm most hesitant about. Illumicrate edition is A Universe of Wishes by Donielle Clayton. This one is an anthology that I think surrounds wishes and fairy tales. I don't like short stories. I don't, guys. I don't like short stories. I really, really wish that I did. Oh, she dusty. But I don't. This is once again an Illumicrate version. So it has, I think, an exclusive cover, a little bit of foiling. This was back in the days when subscription box editions were just a little bit different. There wasn't like a ton of crazy customization, because I haven't been an Illumicrate rep, I think, for nearly 2 years, and I was a rep for 2 years. So yeah, this is one that it's like the wild ones, I guess. I think that this has the potential to be decent. There's a group of authors on here that I really like Tessa Gratton, V. Schwab. There's also authors in here that I'm very much interested in reading from, like Libba Bray and Rebecca Roanhorse. Donielle Clayton's in here, who's an author that I've read from before and enjoyed. I just don't like short stories. There's just not enough. You guys know I complain if a book's under 300 pages. So if it's 30, absolutely not. But yeah, it's one of those, like, I think that it would be decent. I just don't like it. We then have Sisters of the Snake by Serena and Sasha Nanua. This one's an Illumicrate edition again, and it's about a princess and an orphan that run into each other and switch places. The really cool thing about this is that it's written by twins, but this is giving nothing to me. I read the synopsis of it and I was like, sounds fine. It is a Fairy Loot edition, so it is, of course, the most beautiful of all editions, but it just wasn't, nothing in the synopsis was kind of doing it for me. It's very like standard kind of YA synopsis, and I don't know, it's just not speaking to me. So I'm sure it's fine. I actually haven't really heard anybody talk about this, if I'm being honest. So that one can go, and I'm sad about it in a way that I'm always sad about unhauling things that I haven't read, because I'm like, what if I do like it though? But then also, like, what if I spent my time reading something that I thought I was gonna like from the offset? One from Book of the Month, we have The Perishing by Natasha Dion. I held onto this one because it's like a fantasy slash more sci-fi, I guess. But I don't think I'm gonna like it. It is about a young black woman who wakes up in I'm allergic to dust. This one is it's a little bit time travel-y. It's about a woman who wakes up in the 1930s in Los Angeles, and she has no idea how she got there. I think she's traveling into the past from present day, and she keeps drawing pictures of I think he's a firefighter, but she's never met him before, and then she does meet him. So it's more, once again, speculative or magical. I feel like speculative than it is fantasy or sci-fi, which isn't, once again, for me, not the biggest fan. I'm sure that this is a great one, but it just does skew more on the side of lit fic or speculative fiction than I particularly enjoy reading. And like I said, I'm sure it's great, I just don't want to read it. From Fairy Loot, we have The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkowski. This one is a polar fantasy about a girl who's from a mountain village, but the village was... I've read this one! I've read one. I feel so justified in making this list now because I put this in the video because I thought it was going to be average. Like, nothing in the synopsis was doing it for me, and that was literally the only thing I had to say about it. This was so painfully average. Not a single thing in it shocked me because it's all everything that I've ever read before. It's about this girl who fled a village that had been frozen in ice, and she was the only survivor, and her best friend died, except it turned out that he didn't die, and some guy says that if she leads him to the village that she was born in, then he will take her to her friend. And of course she's in love with her friend because nobody ever has a platonic male-female friendship ever. And it, like, literally, this book could have been written in 2009. It was so painfully average. So that one's already gone, like, read it and unhauled it. And the one that I think I've had the longest, this was one of my first Illumicrate books, is Sanctuary by V.V. James. This one is a bit of a, like, cultish thriller, I think. So this one's about the town star quarterback who dies in what is thought to be a tragic accident, but shortly after his death, rumors start flying around because his ex-girlfriend is actually the daughter of a witch. So we have the mother of the quarterback who wants justice for her son, and the mother of his ex-girlfriend who is trying to protect her daughter. Actually sounds kind of interesting. I'm really, really sad about this, guys. Why did I put this on this list? I feel like the main reason why I included this is because I actually wanted to read it, but I was never reaching for it. So the whole reason it was on here was to kind of make me read it. Full disclosure, I'm filming this video earlier than I normally would. I'm pre-filming a little bit. So I'm tempted to give myself the time between, and the thing is as well, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get to it. I'm pretty sure I want to give myself the time between filming this video and this video going up, because it's not been a year yet. It's been like 50 weeks. It's not been 52. So I kind of want to save this for a couple of weeks. I don't know. This is about, it's kind of like a thriller, but also like it has witchcraft in it, and it is one of the first Illumicrate books I ever got. August 2019. This was my second Illumicrate book, I think. I've been a rep for Illumicrate for a long time, guys. Wow. My first box was July 2019. I don't know if I can get rid of this. Why did I put this on this list? What is wrong with me? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I have to at least try and read it before, when's this going up? It's like around the middle of the month, like the books actually expire. I'm upset about that one. I can't, no, I don't want to unhaul that one. I need to read that immediately. Hello everybody, it is Editing Becca here, just to let you guys know that by the time I actually got around to editing this video, I have indeed started Sanctuary. I am nearly done with it. I am 378 pages in, so I've got about 80 pages left. I am listening to the audio of this, so it is slow going. It's been, I think, has it been about a week? Yeah, just over a week since I filmed this video, and I started it immediately, but I am listening to it on audio, so it's been taking me a little bit longer. What I will say about this one is that while it is like, it has a fantasy element, it's definitely a thriller. We're also following the parents involved, and all of the adults are like the main perspectives that we get in here, so it's very much giving me like Big Little Lies vibes, and I 100% would recommend going the audiobook route with this, because it is a full cast audio, and as well as having like a different narrator for each perspective, we also have like newspaper articles in here. They're not like graphically represented, they're not mixed media in terms of it looks like a newspaper article, but I guess it's like formatted and reads like one. And then we also have like transcripts of interviews of things in here as well. So definitely glad that I saved this one and decided to read it immediately. Really glad I decided to pick up the audiobook. I think rating wise, when I'm done, it's going to either be a 3 or 4 star. Not sure if I'll end up keeping it, because it is like very much a thriller in nature, and I tend to not keep thrillers after I've read them, but it was definitely worth the read. So that was the end. Not a successful year in terms of like, I didn't actually, oh god, these are heavy. I didn't really read any of them, but there was one. I read one. I already unhauled one without reading it and just decided that I absolutely was never going to get to it. And one of them I am keeping, but only until July. And at the time that I made this video, I didn't know that Adrienne Young was going to be at Rare, because to me, I don't know why she is at Rare. It's a romance festival. She is a fantasy author. I mean, the other book that I have from her, Spells for Forgetting, is a mystery more than it's a fantasy even. So I don't know why she's there, but she is, so I'll hold on to her books till July. This one is the only one that I'm really sad about. So I think, the thing is though, is I've just filmed my March TBR, and you know, you've seen it, you saw it a while ago. Oh, a note on the magical system. Oh, it's fictional, not contemporary Wicca or paganism. This is a 448 page book on top of the, I think the smallest book on my like mandatory March TBR is 515 pages, so it's probably not a good idea for me to try and read this. It's in first person, because if it is, I could give the audiobook a whirl. I've got, after I finish filming today, I've got doors to gloss, so I could, yes, I might go for the audio of this. By the time you see this video, I may have already read this one, so watch this space. But yeah, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are absolutely going to be unhauled, because I have absolutely no regrets. A couple of them, like Universe of Wishes and The Wild Ones, I only kind of regret in terms of I wish I was the kind of person that would read and enjoy these books, but I'm not. And then I've actually heard really good things about Natasha Dion, but not by people who read the same kind of stuff as me. So while I don't necessarily think that is a bad book, once again, I don't think it's a good book for me. So that was last year's Self-Destructing books. Please let me know down in the, well, so let me know if I've unhauled one of your favourite books. That was a bit cruel, isn't it? Let me know if you think I'm wrong about any of these books. It's not going to save them, apart from this one, which I'm going to listen to the audiobook immediately after I finish filming today. But it's not going to save any of the others. Also, stay tuned if you're interested to see what 10 books are going to make it onto 2023's list of self-destructing books. But aside from that, guys, please don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna. You head into my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish candle website, the Etsy for that, and a 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today, guys. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you're a go and nobody knows what kind friends hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.